That's what I did. I put Lomachenko uh, in the top 10 after his first fight.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So you guys heard what Teddy Atlas said right there in that clip. Well, what he said and what he believes is one of the many reasons why this is going to be one of the biggest fights of the year, if not the biggest fight of the year, which is the American Gervonta Tank Davis versus the Ukrainian Vasily Lomachenko. There's nothing that sells more in the sport of boxing than race. And that has been true since the inception of the sport, going all the way back to Jack Johnson versus Jim Jeffries. Davis and Lomachenko, they're in negotiations right now. The fight is supposed to take place in November. There won't be any non-black boxing fans living in America that's going to be rooting for the American that night. The same non-black fans that were rooting against Devin Haney every time he fought someone, they're going to all turn their attention towards Gervonta Tank Davis, because now he's considered the bigger threat. Don't let the excuses that they try to make trying to discredit this fight just in case Davis wins fool you. If you guys have been paying attention and have been following the sport closely, then you'll notice whenever the black American fighter is the favorite to win, it doesn't matter if he's the older fighter, if he's the younger fighter, if he's the smaller fighter. These race fans, they will make excuses for why they believe their guy is going to lose the fight. And that's because many of these fans who have been following the sport for years, they're used to being let down and watching the guy that they're rooting for lose. Lomachenko is 36 years old. He is the exact same age that Floyd Mayweather was when he completely dominated a much bigger, younger, stronger Canelo. And we've seen who these race fans made excuses for, right? You know who else is 36 years old? Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford, he's going to fight against Israel Madrimov. And I haven't heard not one single fan mention Terrence Crawford's age, mention his inactivity, mention the fact that he's naturally the smaller man moving up in weight. The same race fans that are about to make excuses for Lomachenko are now making excuses for the younger, bigger, stronger Madrimov. They will obviously never admit it, but these race fans, they look at these black American fighters like superheroes. Superman is always expected to win no matter how big his enemy is, no matter how old Superman is. Apparently, age and size only matters when they're talking about mortal fighters, which in this case would be Lomachenko, because once again, that's the only person they're making excuses for. They want to see Superman fall because they're tired of seeing Superman win. Well, now that I have completely broken down the race fans' ideology in the sport of boxing, now I want to break down this fight just a little bit. You know, last year when everyone expected Devin Haney to beat Lomachenko easily, from the moment that fight was announced, I told you guys I felt that Devin Haney had the most difficult fight of the year. I picked him to win the fight, but I just felt it would be a very difficult fight, which it was. Now, when it comes to Gervonta Tank Davis, everyone is already overlooking Lomachenko. Everyone's saying the difficult fight or the hardest fight for Davis is going to be against Shakur Stevenson. I know I'm in the minority when I say this, but I completely disagree. I believe that Lomachenko is a much more difficult fight than the Shakur Stevenson fight. Now, a lot of fans, they're just looking at the fact that Lomachenko, he already has 3 losses on his record. You have some fans that will compare Gervonta Tank Davis to Devin Haney. You have a lot of fans that will say, well, if Devin Haney beat Lomachenko, just imagine what Davis is going to do to Loma. I mean, look at what Gervonta did to Ryan Garcia and what Ryan Garcia did to Devin Haney on steroids. But styles make fights. Lomachenko, he usually struggles against taller fighters with long arms. Fighters like Luke Campbell, Devin Haney, Jermaine Ortiz come to mind. Loma's best performances of his career was against Guillermo Rigondeaux and Gary Russell. And both of them were southpaws that were shorter than Lomachenko. But Rigo's case was a little bit different because he moved up 2 weight classes. And then he moved all the way back down 2 weight classes after that fight. I think Lomachenko's most complete performance of his entire career was against Gary Russell. But Gary Russell and Davis, they do have different styles. Davis, he has the equalizer. He has the eraser. He can knock you out with one single punch. But I believe in this fight in particular, that's a gift and a curse. This is the first time I've ever felt that if Gervonta Tank Davis does not get the knockout, he may lose the fight. Now, before I go any further, let me just make this very clear. I am completely rooting for my countrymen, just like the entire country of Ukraine will be rooting for Lomachenko. I think it would be a big mistake for Davis to go into this fight boxing too much. I mean, he has to box a little bit. He has to fight with intelligence. But if he goes in this fight focusing too much on trying to counter Lomachenko, he's going to find himself behind on the scorecards. Now, let me be a little bit more clear when I say counter. He needs to aggressively counter Lomachenko. He has to always be punching with Lomachenko. He can't wait for Loma to throw a 2 or 3 punch combination, wait for him to finish, and then try to respond. Because Loma, he'll be gone by that point. Davis, he needs to catch Loma the same way he caught Ryan Garcia when he stopped him, catching Ryan Garcia coming in, punching at the same time. You know, Gervonta, he doesn't win every single round, or at least almost every single round like Floyd Mayweather did. We've seen him in fights where he's given up the early rounds or some of the early rounds. He can't afford to do that in this fight. Now, Loma's biggest flaw is the same flaw that a lot of Eastern European fighters have, which is they're weak to the body, very vulnerable to body shots. Sergey Kovalev is a perfect example. When he was the crusher and he was undefeated, that's how Andre Ward broke him down and stopped him, with body shots. And we know that Gervonta is a terrific body puncher. That's also the way Devin Haney beat Lomachenko. And the first person to beat Lomachenko had a lot of success with body shots, which was Orlando Salido. You know who else surprisingly had success with body punches against Lomachenko? Richard Comey. So I'm sure this is going to be a big part of the blueprint to beating Lomachenko for Gervonta. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.
All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Decay Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to lodecay.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.